Hi, my name's Dee, your Professor of Woo Woo, and welcome to Sunchild Tarot and the general reading for Taurus, or the first general reading for Taurus for October. I'm hoping to do some more readings this month. So that's for Sun, Moon, Rising. If you don't know what your Moon and Rising sign are, there is a link in the description down below for, well, I think there's a couple of links for free birth charts. You need your time and your place of birth. Learn your rising sign. Always watch your rising sign. It's just as important as the sun. So, general reading rules apply. You've heard it all before, but there's a past and a present in this spread. So you'll be able to tell if this reading is for you or if it isn't. And if it is, take the lot and think about it. Don't give away your power, just think about it. So there's a link also in the description down below for the Facebook page for this channel. You can contact me there if you want a personal reading. That's the only waffle I can think of. But yes, ask a question prior to the reading. Think about all the questions that are around you and focus on one of them, but be aware of all of them because cards have a tendency to answer what they want and they don't have the same sense of priority as you or I. So I'm sure there's more waffle I can say, but I can't think of it right now. So there you go. That's one of my quickest introductions ever. So let me bring the big cards up, actually. So I'm using the Angel Tarot from Bloodstone Studios as the clarifiers. Hopefully I will be interviewing Travis McHenry, the guy behind this deck and my Demon Possessed Tarot, shortly. I'm using the Spellcaster Tarot as the main deck. Do not be too worried about the Three of Swords being at the bottom of the deck. And then finally, I'm using Heresy collectible card game cards for the final clarifiers. So, there's something you've been working on that is been looking like wish fulfillment for you, but you've been doing it on your own. We've got in how you feel that you are feeling like you are mastering something, but you're doing it on your own. We have the Hermit with Yabamir and also the Hermit card from the Heresy collectible card game, really reinforcing that point of you've been learning, you've been seeking, you've been looking after yourself, and to a certain extent, you have stopped other people interfering in what it is that you are doing. However, the obstacles that come up are the fact that there are some advanced plans that, now, how can I put it? Some previous advanced planning for either this or something else has come and taken on a bit of a life of its own. Something has matured, something has developed, something has come into play that makes you go, oh yes, and I started that, didn't I? Oops. And so this is clarified by Asacreal, which is a relic. So something has become unearthed from something that you set into motion quite some time ago, and it has the chance of throwing you a little off balance. But what I would like to say is remember what it was that you wanted when you set that into motion. Whatever it was, it's not necessarily a bad thing, although it does alter your current direction. There is a certain element of, oh, crap, what do I do now? But in the long term, this is actually, whatever this situation is, it is maturing you from something. It is bringing you nearly to the end of a previous time of your life and giving you a clarity, which I think is very much going to long-term assist whatever it is that you are working on at the moment, whatever it is that you are trying to become master of. So whether you are trying to become master of cooking or astrology or mastering your own temper or mastering your own reactions, whatever you've been working on mastering, this does not appear like it's going to help. It's on first glance, it may well appear as a step backwards, but it is not. It is finally, let's call it closing off a dangling plot thread. You know, sort of something that got answered, some question that got posed in season 1 of your life, and now you're on season 7 or 8. But finally, you get the answer to this one question because it all makes sense. Because you've been through a bit of initiation recently, where you actually received a victory, and that's what set you on this current strive for mastery, whatever this strive for mastery is. However, the transformation that it created is what put these wheels into motion. But this like dangling plot thread, you know, is suddenly raising old issues. But you have an opportunity here to gain a clarity about it and to be of service. Now, the important thing is that right now you are being called into a leadership role, and the details are important because you are now on the verge of setting up your the next period of your life. You know, whether we're going to go by moon periods or sun periods, you know, solar return charts, for example, or some cycle even longer than that. This mastery that you have been working on is something that is going to achieve results quite shortly, but you have to deal with this dangling plot thread, whatever it is. But you have to deal with it in a way where you know the ins and outs of it. You've learnt. So whether it's a personal matter and somebody's feelings are hurt, or whether it's a financial matter that really needs sorting, or whether it's dealing with some old qualification or renewing some license or what have you. Although I'm rather feeling more towards that bit when I say that it's dealing with something where someone's feelings have been hurt. With this Three of Swords here, don't think it's necessarily you. If it is you, I think that you may find that your feelings were hurt in error, you know, by misunderstanding whatever it was that was going on. And now you have an opportunity to set things right. So that's nice. Because although other people don't think that you've got a lot to work with in this situation, you'll be surprised at the amount of information that you are able to receive, at the amount of victory that you can achieve in this situation. And I would say victory will be achieved by being in service. That Mother of Dawn card here is all about. So the story of this card is it's from the Mausolea Oracle. So there was a woman who in life was beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And as such, her beauty was a prize to be achieved, conquered, to be given to somebody in the service of kings when they would say, okay, go and keep that prince happy over there, go and keep that duke happy, that sort of thing. So once she gets to the afterlife, she's continued in service, but from her own free will, pulling out the difference of being in service or being in servitude. She now has the power to choose to help people with her gifts in whatever way she sees fit, and there ain't nobody going to tell her how to do it. She does it or she doesn't. Well, with this case, she pretty much does. She looks after people, she guides people, she provides a voice for people as well. Now, that might be quite interesting. So whether this was your pain or somebody else's pain, because it could be, like I said, that there's that sense of you had information that was, if it's someone else's pain, you received information that you reacted to, and now what you're suddenly discovering is that information was wrong, you know. And there's that reaction in of you of, oh my god, and on the back of that I did this and I'd said that, and but you have a beautiful opportunity of setting all that right. And this is going to increase your own studies. It's not going to bring things to the end, to an end. It's going to, it's not necessarily going to take you away from the dream that you've been working on recently. This is just a bump in the road, which means that you're taking a detour, but you're still going to get to where it is that you are ending up to get to. This is turning into a quick reading. But I do get the feeling that once you resolve this matter, it is something that you get to put behind you completely. And whatever you've been mastering, you get to go ahead into the world, but not with that sense of, I am a master now, but with that sense of, I've learned to do what I need to do, and now I'm the student. Now I can find out how what it is I can do will affect the world. So, Raguel. Now, Raguel is a real angel, but I cannot remember much about him. There's a sense with this card that there's some people falling away. But then again, that whole situation that I was describing with these cards rather indicates that there's that conclusion coming up. There's that being in service and that having received erroneous information. Well, where did that information come from? Like I say, you've got to know all the ins and outs. Now that this thing, whatever it is, has raised its head, find out everything that you can. And yes, it's taking you away from your studies. Yes, it's taking you away from your hermitude. Is that a word? I think that's a word. I don't want to say hermetic status because that over-eggs the pudding somewhat. But your solitary studies, your solitary practice, and your solitary rulership of yourself, all of a sudden, other people's emotions or living situations are relevant to what it is that you are doing and what you can do. So really, I'm thinking that whatever this obstacle is that you're facing right now, because initially it's going to give you that sense of, oh God, but I thought all this was over. And then the second reaction is, but hang on a minute, I thought something completely different to that. So you're getting the chance to mend all of that and build with Mahasya or Mashasya here with the Four of Wands. You're getting the chance to really commit to what you have been mastering once you have sorted all this stuff out. And I also feel with that Four of Wands on the bottom of the deck that there's an element of old agreements that you may have betrayed because of getting the wrong end of the stick, basically, that those agreements may well, or alliances, or however you want to say it, may well come back into play, may well be important again. So like I say, you've got to learn every detail of not just that what you was told was wrong, and therefore how you reacted would be on shaky ground and you can understand how other people were offended, but you have to find out what was right, what was the accurate information, what was the true information, and in detail. And that enables you, by being in service to someone else or to others. it really does feel plural. So I'm going to say others. There's more than one person that's been affected by this. That it really springboards you. And with that, saying that you're developing mastery here, but you're going to go out into the world as a student, I'm using like that old Greek university model where the first years are the learned ones. I forget what the second years was, but the third years are the students, and and the graduates are pretty much, they go out into the world theoretically fresh-faced because they are aware of how much they do not know now. So learning to do a thing doesn't necessarily mean you're going to know how that thing that you can do can have an effect, and that's what you're going to be going out to learn. But you've just got to get over this roadblock first. Well, that was short and sweet, Taurus. Sorry about that. But that's pretty much everything that was there. So go and watch your rising sign when I get them loaded up, or keep an eye on the channel, really, because these are going to be uploaded in dribs and drabs. So yeah, keep your eye on the channel, watch your rising sign when it comes up, watch your moon sign, and have a good October, and hopefully you will have another reading this October as well. Cheers.